here. It's been a bit of a crazy morning. Okay, I'm live on YouTube now. All right, cool. Let's start over, shall we? But yeah, I don't know what this weird. Okay, I'm going to clean my camera, Instagram. I don't know what's happening. Burp, 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 burp. Made it worse. What is happening? All right, I'm going to. Do you see how like a bright I am? Okay, whatever. Hi, everybody. I'm just going to sit back right now. Hi, I'm Jody Bentley. I am the CEO of Actor Insider and Actors Office. I go live on the first and third Fridays of every month for our coaching and coffee hour, where I usually drink my green tea, but I still get to finish my damn protein shake. And I'm going to answer any and all questions that you have about the acting business and your acting career. Hi, Donnie. Donnie's watching from Facebook. Let's see. Great. Hi, Chelsea. Good morning. Basking in the sun. Oh, I love it. It looks like I'm basking in the sun on Instagram. I don't know what is happening with this lighting here. Hold 1 second, you guys. Here we go. Behind the scenes. Oh, God, I don't know what I'm doing today. All right. I'm feeling a little off my game today. I had a small little procedure thing yesterday, and it's just throwing me for a loop a little bit. But that's all right. Here we are. All right. I don't know what's happening. We're just going to let it go. Anyway, hi, Tony. Tony, I saw you pop in somewhere, and now I see you on Facebook. I love it. All right. So let's, for those of you who don't know, Tony Robinette, go follow him on Instagram, Facebook, wherever Tony is. So Tony, I know you had some issue with Instagram that I saw, that you got blocked or something, or Facebook. It's done that to me multiple times, my friend. I don't understand why my posts get blocked, where all I'm trying to do is support and help people, but yet other people can post all the nasty shit in the world and they're fine. So I feel you. Donnie says you look great. Yeah, Donnie, I look so different on Instagram to me for some reason. I don't know why, the lighting or whatever's happening. Anyway, I digress. Who cares, right? Who cares? I'm here to help you guys. All right. But thank you for saying that. All right. I'm going to open this up though here. Hold on. How do I do that? Boop, boop. Let me make sure the sound is off. Okay, there we go. Now I can see all the comments coming through. All right. Oh, hi, Renee. Hi, Ashley. You know, usually I come prepared with a bunch of shit I want to talk to you about while I wait for you all to ask me questions. And I'm feeling, like I said, just a little off today. I had a small procedure yesterday, which knocked me for a loop. And now I'm just feeling a little weirdo. But here I am with you. Here I am. And we're going to talk about stuff. Tony says, I have no clue what the hell happened. Maybe haters, maybe word algorithm. But yeah, I think it's just word algorithm, Tony. Really, it's crazy. Anyhow. Let's talk. Does anyone want to talk about Actors Access and the terms of service? That's been a big thing going around. I trust that you've all seen that our union, SAG-AFTRA, stepped in and did add some protections for us in the terms of service for Actors Access, because basically what Actors Access was saying, one of the main points in that was that anything we uploaded to Actors Access became their property, right? That they owned whatever we gave them. Which that is crazy. Because that means what could they use that for, right? So the union did step in and negotiate. And now within that contract, I'm forgetting what exact section it is, there is now a provision that whatever we upload, that they cannot use for their own personal gain, to train AI. They cannot use our likeness and image anywhere. So if you did not read that, you can actually see the verbiage on the SAG-AFTRA website. If you're a member of SAG-AFTRA, they did email it out to everybody. But that made me feel a lot better. So, you know, and I actually ran the terms of service through ChatGPT and was like, please explain this to me. Explain this to me in layman's terms, and what should I be concerned about? And it even pointed up now that actors have these protections in there. So I'm really glad that our union stepped in for that. I'm still educating myself on some other points. I don't want to pretend to be an expert about it. But that was the big thing that I was concerned about, was like, you own all my auditions now and everything. Hold on. Tony says, AA trying to take advantage of actors? No, sarcasm. Right. Though I will say, and gosh, I'm gonna say, I think Actors Access is the best one out there. in terms of taking advantage of actors, the least amount of taking advantage of actors, right? At least they agreed to add those new terms. I think those terms were really to protect themselves from AI and scraping and things, right? There's lots of other things that businesses get to do now because AI can come in and someone could come in even my website and scrape all my shit. Don't do it. Don't do it. I get to update my terms of service. There's so much that can happen now with AI, right? And the capabilities of it. So I think we're going to see a lot of businesses updating their terms of service because they are protecting their own content. And whether you think that they're like saying that they own it and now people can't scrape it, because before, if they didn't have some of those provisions in there that they have now, anybody could have come in and scraped all of our auditions. Now, in Actors Access, I know they have huge servers that's protected, that are dedicated servers for them, but people can still come in with all this new technology and scrape stuff off servers. So a lot of those terms of service were them protecting themselves, which inadvertently is also protecting you. So I just wanted to point that out and know that. But yes, some of the terms did feel a little shady, and we are right to stand up. We are right to ask questions. We are right to get to the bottom of it. It was right to have our union step in and protect us. And those conversations need to continue and need to happen. Great. Hi, Casey. Let's see. Donnie says here on Facebook, hugely crazy. CapCut did the same recently, so I no longer edit auditions on that app. I just use it for my YouTube stuff that I don't care if they reuse. I use Vlog Now instead on my phone. That's great to know, Donnie. And I think it's important to know, like, what exactly are those terms of service? Are they saying they own it? Because again, I honestly think, you guys, sometimes we gotta look at from our perspective of us, right? Of course, we want to protect ourselves, and we got to start from that place. And then you got to go, okay, why would this business be doing that? Is that just about me? They're a huge corporation. Why are they doing that? Are they doing that to own my stuff and have it and keep it and use, run my shit through AI for their own benefit? And maybe that's what that said, Donnie. I don't know what CapCut's things were. But on the same time, you got to understand that businesses are protecting themselves from other businesses, AI agents, lots of things that, again, are coming in and scraping things. So a lot of these protection, or a lot of these terms of service that they're putting in are really for third party people, not necessarily for you. Yeah. So anyway, just to keep that in mind. But again, I don't know what that actually said, Donnie, but it's important to read this stuff now. Like, I know it's annoying. I've never read any of that. You're like, do you agree to our terms? Yes. Let me use your app. Like, I've never read it before. Like, who cared? And now we care, because now so much can be done with what we're putting into apps. But I had a moment with the whole Actors Access thing. I was like, why are we all getting up in arms about Actors Access when here I am going live on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, and they own everything. Anything you post on Instagram and Facebook, they freaking own. But we're not getting up in arms about that because we like the social aspect and right? I don't know what ba is, but you get my point. So, we get to pick our battles, but you also get to remember that every company has a terms of service. Every company is protecting themselves. And it's important to know what those parameters are and what you're putting up. That's why, for my courses, the Actors Think Tank, Dare to Be Unstoppable, even my summit that I just did, all of that is built in my private course community. For my clients, for the courses where we have a lot of interaction and support communities, I used to run those on Facebook, and then I stopped because it's not private. So it's just really important to know that a lot of stuff you're putting out there, my friends, is not private. And either you're disagreeing to that or not, right? And then there's no shame or judgment in me saying that. Again, I'm here live on these platforms. I post shit all the time on these platforms. But we can't get mad at one and not get mad at the other, right? It's like they're all taking our stuff. Anyway, I digress. Okay, what questions do we have going on? Casey says, nice to catch another live stream. How much have I missed? A lot, Casey. You've missed a lot. You missed me trying to get set up live on every platform. You missed my lighting issue. And then here we are. So you didn't miss much. And you missed me ranting about AI and Actors Access and terms of service. So here we are. So what questions do we have? What is going on? What are you feeling now in your acting career? I mean, look, we're in September now. We're in the last quarter of the year. No, I lied. October will be the last part of the year. We're in the last part of the year. Like it feels like September to December is like chunked together. Do you know what I mean? We're in back to school mode. Does anyone feel like we're going back to school? Does anyone feel like anything's happening? I had some really good auditions in August, end of August. I got pinned for a new HBO TV series and I got released. I had 3 pins this year for TV shows, you guys, 3 pins, and I got released from all of them. I will be doing a video about it. But that's what it is. Do you know what I mean? That's what we do. We audition, we get close, we get can get down to me and 5 people or me and 2 people, and then one person gets it. And it doesn't mean that I'm a bad actor. It doesn't mean that I did anything wrong. It doesn't mean that you did anything wrong. It just means that wasn't my time. But does it hurt? Yeah. Does it suck? Yeah. Do I have a good in with those offices? Yeah. Will I book eventually? Yeah. You know, so it's just what happens. But I just want to say, for those of you who say that it's slow, there is stuff happening. I know Tony's booked shit, right? I know, like, again, I've gotten the 3 pins for TV. I did a reading of a new musical this year. I've, had callbacks from multiple films. I'm working on my own film that we're bringing on board a casting director now. Is it slow? It's slow if you think it is. It's slow if you don't have strategy. It's slow if you expect to do the same things you've been doing in your acting career and expect a different result. Then it's slow. So if you're still feeling like this industry is slow for you, I really invite you to examine, what are you doing? What is your strategy? What is working? What is not working? Because if your strategy historically now has been complaining about the industry with friends on the weekend over a bottle of wine, that ain't a good strategy. So really, you hear me a lot talk about taking a 10,000 foot view in your career and what is working, what is not. Do you know who you are? Do you have a solid brand? Can you communicate that with the industry? Do you have materials that really reflect who you are? I need to get some new pictures. It's been a while. And I'm like, ugh, like I get it. Like it's work. It is work to be an actor. Some of the admin business stuff is work. And I get that sometimes we don't want to do it, but it's part of our job. So the faster you can embrace that and not resist it, the faster that you can embrace the changes in our industry and not resist it, the better off we will all be. The better off we will all be. All right, let me see here. I'm just going to go back. I'm going to go to Facebook and then look at the Instagram. Let's see. Tony says, I recently went back to in-person classes and God, I needed it. Yeah, I did that. God, when did I do that? At the top of this year, I did that. I did it for about 3 or 4 months. And it was like, oh yeah, let's dust that skill off. Like it was totally different, Donnie, once my kiddo went back to school, I resurfaced into my mentors group. That's my back to school. I love it. I love it. Kristen says huge congrats. And also, damn. Yeah, thank you, Kristen. Oh yeah, Greenberry Lucas said, asked Tony where you went back to school. Where you went back to school, where you went back to in-person class. I know Kimberly Jensen has in-person classes. Her classes start in 3 days. I know that. Kimberly, okay, before I go back to these other questions. Oh, I got a hair in my mouth. This has been a really weird, like I'm literally gonna choke on my hair. Weird behind the scenes thing. I need some water. What is happening today? Just swallowed my own DNA. Great. Now my phone's ringing. Where was I? Oh, okay. Yes. Kimberly Jensen. So if you don't know Kimberly Jensen, Kimberly was one of the sponsors on the summit that I just did, the shortlist. Who is at the summit? Who attended the summit? Even watched one of the talks of the summit? Let me know. Let me know in the chat if you attended my shortlist summit for actors. We had 18 industry guests. We had so many guests, so many talks. It ended up being about 27 hours of content of industry people who are working now. That was my big thing about the guests in that summit, that they all had to be working now. Not that they were a casting director 10 years ago and teach acting classes now, but they're a casting director now and they're actively working on projects. That they were a director now, actively working on projects. They're a producer now, actively working on projects. That was my biggest thing. And gosh, Chelsea says I did. It was so amazing. It was so amazing. It was so amazing. If you missed it, I will say, starting yesterday through Sunday, I've packaged the whole thing, and we're doing a 65% off sale on the summit, on the short list. It's only $27 to own it forever. So if you missed it, or you only joined for free and wanted to catch everything and didn't upgrade to VIP at that time, now you still can. So I'll post the link around here. But yeah, that summit was epic. It was so much work, you guys. So much work. I'm going to do it again next year. I planned that in probably 2.5, 3 months. So I think I need to give myself 5 months because it was a lot. But I will do it again because it was so good. Yeah, Chelsea says, y'all, you better grab that. I love it. Donnie says, I attended most live. I'm still working through replays, but not giving up. You are one of the mentors, by the way, whose group I have resurfaced in, and Tony's group too. Love you all. Oh, thanks, Donnie. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Greenberry Lucas says, your hair, though, so pretty. Thank you. I had a blowout yesterday. It feels very bouncy. Okay. What am I saying? I had a question here. Hold on. I'm getting off topic. Casey, as far as my acting hustle goes, it still feels a little stalled because I'm looking for survival work. Yep. But I'm having fun promoting a short film at local theaters. Oh, amazing. Congrats on the short film. I mean, that's part of the job, you know. We get to promote our work. I see Tony doing that. Again, Tony, you've been resurfacing everywhere in my stuff. Again, if you don't know Tony, follow Tony. It's part of our job is promoting that stuff. A short film that I was in just got distributed in Australia and somewhere else on Yow TV. Anyway, I haven't even posted about it yet. I get to post about that, but that's part of our work, Casey. That's sometimes the work. We think the work is, oh, I get to be on set every day or be auditioning every day. That's not necessarily the work. There's a lot of other things that go into it. Is the goal to be on set as much as we can or to be on stage as much as we can? Of course it is. But we also get to be realistic about what does this acting career look like? And what can I do in the slow times? You know, I just got asked to be part of this article written by authority.co about what to do in the slow times for actors. So I just finished answering all my questions about that, and I get to record a video for that today. But I was really grateful to be asked. And it's so important, right, of knowing what to do when it is slow, because this isn't the only time it's been slow. This isn't the only time it's going to be slow. Let's be real. This industry is unpredictable. Are we in an unprecedented time of, you know, craziness? Yes, the advent of AI, it's changed everything. It's just, again, I've said this before. It's the same thing when movies went from black and white to color, or from silent films to talkies. Same shit happened when they went from actual film to digital, right? The same things happen. We are in a shift now. But the industry is always shifting and evolving, and there's always slow times and thriving times, and that happens individually for people as well, right? There's times when my auditions are really lean, and I have clients where they're like, "Oh my God, I'm getting all the auditions in all the world." It's because they're writing for that right now. They're not writing for me, and that's okay because trends change. Trends can't say that. Writing trends change. We get to know that as well. But Casey, one thing you said is about looking for a survival work. And I think it's just so important to have something that, that brings in that money, because we know that acting isn't going to bring in 100% of the money, right? So it's important to have something that you feel good about, that doesn't suck your soul dry, that supports you as an artist and a creative. So yeah, you might feel a little stalled in the acting hustle right now because the pendulum has swung over here for you to focus on that. And guess what? That's okay. Right? There's times when we need to focus on making money. There's times when we're like, yes, acting. There's times when we're like, wow, I really need to revamp my marketing tools. Then there's times where like, I'm on set for 2 months. Yay. Right? Like the pendulum is always going to be swinging in different directions, and knowing that it's okay to go at that. Because that's life. That's what life is. So Casey, congrats on the film, and thank you for posting that. And I think there's been some stuff happening over here. Tony, celebrate those wins. Pins are huge wins. They are, Tony. They are. I remember one year I had 9 pins fall through. Hard pill to swallow. Hard pill to swallow. Yes, it is. Oh man, I so thought, because it was the 3rd one for me this year, I really thought it was a new HBO show, and I was like, this is the one. This is the one. And the audition was there was like a short scene, and then they wanted you to improv. Oh man, I fucking killed it. I'm going to post my improv. I'm so proud of it. I was so proud of it. And I was like, yes, that's why I'm going to book it. Gah. All right, let me go here. Okay, wait. Hi, Emmanuel. Emmanuel, you show up every time, Emmanuel. Okay, question for you. Do you think that self-made work, self-content creation will be the only way to make it in the future in the industry? Emmanuel coming with the big questions every time. Emmanuel, you never ask, how do I get an agent? Or what do you think of my headshot? You're always asking these like meta macro vision questions of the industry. I love it so hard. And sometimes they're really hard to answer because we don't know where the industry's going. Do you know what I mean? But I'm just going to ask this again for everybody to hear. Do you think that self-made work or self-content creation will be the only way to make it in the future in the industry? I'm going to dissect this. Will it be the only way to make it? No. Is it one way to make it? Yes. Is it a helpful addendum, ancillary thing while we pursue the, I'll say, traditional acting journey? Yeah. So look, I know a lot of actors out there resist the idea of content creations and go, oh my God, we all have to be influencers or make things or do things now. No, you don't have to. You don't. But then how are you building? So I think the big question here is, how are you building a sustainable creative career? Like we got to start there, right? So if you want to, if you know that you're an artist and you want to be an artist and an actor for the long haul, how can we make this career sustainable? Okay, so then I'll just, for me, that's why I do film, television. This is my, here, I'm going to turn this here. That's my voiceover booth, right? I do audiobooks. I don't love commercial voiceover, so I don't do it. I just started working in theater again this year. That used to be what I did when I lived in New York. But now I really do, I'm going back into theater. I just did a reading of a new musical. I need to get some more musical clips up. I'm having my hands in multiple pots. Why? Because it's important. Because it's important. But here's the thing. It's important to have your hands in multiple artistic pots, but we also can't spread ourselves too thin. And we also need to get one plate spinning at a time. That's what I believe, right? If you're trying to do everything all at once, you're probably not getting anywhere fast. Right. But I already had an audiobook plate spinning when I've been doing that since 2013. I already had theater contacts that I built in New York 20 years ago. So I just been repicking those up. I've been making new connections with people here, but I already had the film TV thing going. I have a manager. I have a TV agent, right? I have a film agent. So it's important to start one plate and get it spinning. But I think it's really important to have our hands in multiple pots right now. Like we can't just say, oh, I'm a television actor, I'm going to make all my living doing that, right? Now, back to Emmanuel's question. I do think creating something. I have clients creating podcasts. I have clients creating web series. I have Donnie has a YouTube channel that she started, right? That she's doing stuff for actors on. I started like a talk showy thing called Lady Things, talking about being a woman in Hollywood in perimenopause. And one of my clients reached out to me and said, do you want to do this with me? I said, yes. And we've done 3 episodes. We're editing it now, where we're going to start pitching it around to like streaming networks for like mini talk shows, soundbite things. That's because that could bring something in. Who knows? That could get someone to see that and go, oh, I want to cast her in my series. Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows? But I'm interested in that. I like talking about that. That's fun for me. I wrote a feature film. I spent, past 3 years writing this feature. It's ready to go. I got a producer. I got a director. I sent it out to a casting director yesterday to bring them on board. I have development money. I wanted to write that story. Maybe it's a short film that you want to write. Maybe you just want to do, sketch clips on Instagram or TikTok, right? What can you do that excites you, that fuels your soul, and could support your artistic career? That was my Boston accent coming out there. Autistic. So content creation, is it going to make or break you? Is it going to only be the future in the industry? I can't say. I don't believe it to be true. Will it help you? Yeah, I think so. I think so. That's why I'm doing it. Because we just don't know. We just don't know where things are going. But I think to create content for the sake of creating content because someone told you that's what you need to do, that's not the right thing to do. But to create something because you love it. Again, it could be a podcast, could be something. Maybe it's just something you want to talk about. Maybe you start a YouTube channel and just do YouTube shorts, reviewing movies. I don't care. Like, what excites you? I think anything we do that's creative can only fuel our acting careers and artistic careers. This is a great conversation. What do you y'all think about that? Katie says, I don't think it could hurt if it's something you're able to do. Yeah. Casey says, exactly. And although this is my passion, I'm wary of potential burnout. Casey says, Emmanuel, that's definitely something I'm learning more about too. Some of the advice I've learned is that it can help. But like Jody says, it's only one of the many solutions. Casey, I remember we talked about a similar topic in a previous live stream, and I recall you mentioned that skills and content creation can help with freelance work. Yeah, like you could, who knows? I have a lot of clients on Fiverr who, they create their own content and they edit other people's content, and that's how they make an extra income stream, right? I think we get to think more. I mean, look, we've always been in an outside the box business. Let's be real. But I think the more this industry grows and evolves, we get to think outside the box. We do. The industry is thinking outside the box with AI. So how are you thinking outside the box of how you can maintain your creativity and your artistry? Yeah. Taking apart many of these content related side skills and finding other ways to apply them is a good idea. Yes. Katie, for me, creating my own stuff allows me to play the roles I want and the stories I want to tell. Yes. And I don't have to wait for someone to see me. Exactly, Katie. That's why I wrote my feature film. Exactly. I want to be seen the way that I want to be seen. And here's the thing. Is it work? Yes. It's work. I'm producing a $2 million movie. It's a lot of work. But I love it, and I love the story, and I love that I'm going to get to play this role, right? This is Emmanuel. You have another question. I can't even look at it yet. I need to answer something simpler. You make me think. You make me really think. I love it. But this is a great question to talk about. Let's see. Let's see. Tony says, I'm going to go here first. Tony, okay, I have a question. Yes, Tony. Can we chat about Britt Lauer audition tape for Severance? Oh, shit. Yes. What are your thoughts on breaking the rules and when to break the rules? Oh, Tony, I know you have lots of thoughts on this. I feel like you are a consummate rule breaker and it works in your favor. If you have not seen Britt Lauer's Severance audition, Google it and watch it. It is awesome. And yes, was she against a lovely backdrop, blue, gray screen? No. Was she framed right and perfectly on the thing? No. Did she always keep her face straight to camera so they could see our eyes? No. Watch it. It is brilliant. Because here's the thing. I think we get to break the rules. Every great career, I think about, yeah, I know you're a rule breaker, Tony. So am I. I love it. Yes. Also shout out to her reader and camera op. Totally. Again, if you haven't watched it, go watch it. But I think we get to every time I think about, this is obviously an old reference, right? And we've heard it a million times, but Steven Spielberg, right? He was a rule breaker. That's how he built his own career. But what's her name? Elizabeth Banks, wrote a letter to a director for a film. I think it was for Hunger Games. Wrote a letter to the director saying, this is why I'm right for this role. And this is why you need to see me and audition me. There's so many stories. Tony, what's up, Tony? There's so many stories of people who thought outside the box, let's keep going with that, and broke the rules to forward their career, right? Again, all the they says. How many fucking they says are there? They say don't do this. They say don't email to get an agent. They say don't do this. They say don't do that. There's so many they says. And they says were put in place because some actor somewhere or multiple actors somewhere did those things and didn't do them very well. I'll say that. So they're meant to deter people to not do those things. But if you can do it and do it well, Oh my God. I can't tell you how many websites they say don't submit for agents. Can I tell you how many clients I've had? And I said, no, just press send. Just press send. Press send on the goddamn email. And how many of them got agents from agencies on their websites saying, don't cold submit to us? Yes, Tony just said risk, risk, risk. Totally, totally. This is not a safe career. And I have to remind myself of that all the time, you guys, because it is, it's so easy to just, again, it's easy for me to sit here in my office behind my computer and get work done all day. Like, it's so easy. It's harder to go out and network. It's harder to take the risks and go, well, you know what? I am going to send those 10 really risky emails today. You know what? I am going to ask this person for $250,000 for my movie today. Why not? Why not? Yep. And Tony says, if we don't hear back, we move on. Oh my God. I need to get Tony and the two Tonys. I just realized Tony Gapistone and Tony Robinette. I need to get two Tonys in a room with me, and we need to talk about thinking outside the box and risk. We need to put something together. I love it so much. Jody and the Tonys. It's a new band. Okay. So yes, going back to Tony Robinette's thought of Brit, thoughts on breaking the rules. We get to break the rules. You know, I mean, going back to even, oh my God, Rachel McAdams. Have you ever seen her audition for The Notebook? Her back is turned to camera for a good, I don't even know how long, right? They say, don't do that. It's so compelling when we break the rules because it's truthful, right? Quentin says the battle of the Tonys. I love it. I love it. But I'm digressing back to the two Tonys. But I know Tony Robinette and Tony, and so I'm just praising you both today. This is what this live is about. Tony Gapistone, I know you both. You're hustlers and you take risks. And that's why you're both really successful. And that's what people get to realize. You know, people come to me all the time and go, how can I break in as an actor? How can I do this? How can I do this? And look, I have systems. I have structures. That's what my whole Actors Think Tank is about. I'm going to teach you how to brand and market and do all that stuff. But then you need to be willing to go that extra mile and take the risks. I have a client right now in my mastermind group. And she's done all the branding and marketing, and we got all her tools ready, and we got it, right? And now she's in the middle of her agent campaign. And every day she's just I got to be bold. I got to be bold. She's reminding herself because she's so nervous to follow up. I have a whole system, right, of follow-up for these agents. And she's like, really, we're going to do that? I'm like, yes, you're going to do that. And she's like, okay. But it's and it just reminds me of how much this does trigger our nervous systems to be an artist, right? Because we are constantly putting our asses on the line and we have to take risks. Imagine if Britt Lauer didn't take that risk and that tape, if she didn't sit on the floor and really just go, hey, this is how I want to do it. This is how I would do this role. And I'm going to show you my interpretation of this. If she didn't do that and break those rules, we wouldn't have the gift of her face on the TV screen. So it's we got to be bold and take risks and trust. And it's hard. But when you have systems and structures in place, which is again what I believe wholeheartedly, which is why I've built all these systems for actors. When you have those systems in place, you know that you can fall back on it. My client knows, okay, this is week 4. I know what to do. Yes. Now you just have to have the courage to do it. You have to have the courage to reach out, the courage to press send, the courage to look away on camera or walk off screen or sit on the goddamn floor or do whatever it is. The courage to do that is so important. Katie, I love it. Rules are basically guidelines. There's only a few that are truly set in stone. Yes, Katie, put that on a t-shirt, Katie. Put that on a goddamn t-shirt. I love it. Okay, I'm going on here. Risk it all. Tony, yes, this is an episode I'll be on. Oh my God, seriously, we get to, I know Tony Gapistone, I just had you in my membership and talk to my clients, but I really think there could be a really, and you know who else we'll ask Darren. I know it's not Tony's. Darren Darnborough. So We Audition was one of our sponsors for the summit that I just put on. Darren Darnborough is one of the co-founders of that. And I did an Instagram live with him. And just hearing how this man has built his business and built his acting career, again, all about risks and stepping into, I want to say uncomfortable situations, but maybe he doesn't even think they're uncomfortable. Like he goes to Cannes every year and throws a big party for We Audition. He's throwing an Emmys party in New York. He's doing all of these things and putting himself in these positions of belongingness, right? Risking in that way. He just like went in 10 days was like, I'm going to the Philippines, and did this whole event in the Philippines and expanded his business to the Philippines and met all these actors there. And if you follow him and you see all the photos he's putting out, that man's risking every day. Like, I think and it was such a lesson for me to hear him talk about, wow, really stepping into power. Oh, you'll be in LA with Darren next week. Are you going to the Emmys party on the 11th, Tony? Let me know. I'm going to be there. I still don't know what I'm wearing. But I will be there if that's where you're going to be. And Tony, you're doing a bunch of events. I just got your email. I've saved it. I have to go back and look. Anyway, I digress. Yes, carve it out. Brave your own way. I love it so much. Okay, Donnie. Yes, Tony taught me the fuck it take in a coaching. And I love that whenever I step out and take a risk, the fuck it take. Yes, when you're doing a self-tape. Yes. Blue and gold. Okay, I'm getting sucked into too many conversations. Tony Gapastone, I will see you at the We Audition Emmys party on 9/11 in blue and gold. I will see you there. Very excited about that. Going back to Donnie, Tony Robinette taught her about the fuck it take. I always do a fuck it take in self-taping, right? Usually the first take sometimes is my fuck it take, because I'm just like, I just want to get it out. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's like the one I use, or that will be like the one that I've planned more and controlled more. And then I'm just going to let go. I'm just going to do what I want to do. And that's inevitably the take that I use. I don't know what I'm flapping around here. I step out, take a risk. It's scary because you kind of feel like that naughty kid in class who may be scolded, but no, we have to remind ourselves, no one is the boss of me but me. Mic drop. No one is the boss of me but me. I love it. I love it. So good. And Marianne says risk it all. I love it. So good, you guys. Tony Capistone says I'll stop interrupting. No, you're good. You're good. It's me getting too sidetracked. I just need to stay the course when I answer a question. But I love it's so great today. I really needed the community energy and momentum to do this live today. So I really appreciate you all. Katie, fuck it is one of the best things I learned. I do it in both self-tapes and VO. Amazing. Yeah, right. Could we get again, and if any of you attended my summit, every single casting director, every single one of them, hands down, said, I want to see you and what you do. Don't give me what you think I want. I want to see you. And they always talk about that person that had that fuck it take, right? Who said, no, this is who I am and what I want to do for this. That was the ones that always stood out, right? And if you said you want to know how to get callbacks and pins, that's what you do. That's what we're talking about at the top of this. Tony said there was a year, and I know Tony's been booking this year, but there's a year he had 9 pins. I had 3 pins this year. There's a reason. It's because we have a fuck it take. It's because we're allowing ourselves to shine through. It's really that. And I'll say this, for those of you tuning in who did not get to see my summit, the shortlist that we did in August, I have so many people. I had over almost 3,000 actors sign up for that. And I know it was a lot of content. It was over 27 hours of content. So I know not everyone got through everything. So I packaged it all and bundled it all. And from now, starting yesterday through Sunday at 9 p.m., I packaged it all for $27. You're getting like $1 for each hour of content. And it is huge, heavy hitters in this industry. Sunday Bowling Kennedy, Michael Cassara in New York, Allison Frank in New York, Brandon Rodriguez of UDK, Daniel Schwab of Romano Benner. They just picked up Scrubs, the Scrubs reboot. I really invite you to listen and own this content, because for me, I mean, I got to interview all these people. After every interview was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like, I was so motivated. And I've been doing this a long fucking time. And I was so motivated by everything that they said, that even I just told you, this audition I had for HBO where I got pinned, it made me even approach it in even like a different way just from hearing them talk. And then I got pinned right away for it. So I really invite you to get that. You can go to actor-insider.com/the-shortlist. I'll put the link here as well. But only through Sunday will it be 65% off. So if you want to snag that, I highly, highly recommend that you do. All right. I love it. Let's see. Where am I going? Lots of things coming in. Tony says, I want to go to the Emmys party now. You got to be part of the We Audition community. We Audition rocks. Yeah. Everyone go to We Audition. Okay, hold on. I missed a question somewhere. Emmanuel, here we go. Another question from Emmanuel. Always the big questions. Can the studio execs at a movie studio or TV network play a factor in casting directors and directors' decisions to cast certain actors for projects? Can the studio execs or the TV networks play a factor in who casts who? Yeah, they're the deciding factor. I mean, look, producers are, right? But especially for like series reg, it's going to network, and network can approve you or not, right? When we get up to a higher level. But it's the casting directors don't make decisions on who gets cast. They bring the pictures, they bring the people, I don't know where that thought was. They bring the people in the room, and then they decide who they're going to send to producers based on the auditions that come in. But they're not saying this person is cast or hired. Directors can, right? A lot of directors in movies will get final say, but if you're an indie feature and you have private equity in your movie, one of your EPs might say, I want final say in all the casting. Who knows, right? So all of that is project by project basis. But like I was just pinned, right? So casting sent however many tapes. Maybe they sent 7. And maybe producers watched the 7 tapes and said, we like these 2 women, and 2 of us got pinned. Maybe they said, we like these 5. Maybe they pinned 5 of us. We don't know. We have no idea. Every office runs their stuff differently. Every producer is going to do something different. But it's the producer that's going to make that final say. And then it's the higher up you get, the bigger budget you get, it is going to be the studio execs or the TV networks making those decisions for sure. But some like Netflix could say, here's $3 million, make this movie, hire whoever you want. I trust you. If it's a director they've worked with before or producers they've worked with before. So that is totally a project by project basis, Emmanuel. But great question. Great question. Okay, let's see what else. I think I missed some stuff here on Instagram. Okay, Alana. Hi, Alana. Switching gears. Do you have any tips for someone who's starting to go into the VO industry? What facet of voiceover are you pursuing, Alana? Are you doing commercial animation, video games, audiobooks? Everything's going to have a little bit of a different strategy. I don't do the commercial animation stuff. I just didn't love it for me. But I love audiobooks. But are you looking for advice on like auditions, strategy, equipment, let me know, just as I'm starting to venture into that world. Alana also says your earrings match your eye color. It's so pretty. Oh, thank you. When I wear green, my eyes look green. When I wear blue, my eyes look blue. It just changes. Anyway, thank you. Commercials. Great. I would listen to a lot of commercials on the radio, hear how they sound. I would listen to the voiceover stuff and commercials on TV, really start to understand the pacing, the sound. Really want to start to understand how your voice fits into that world, right? I talk a lot about branding for TV and film and theater, but there's also a brand in terms of voiceover, right? Katie, who's on Instagram here, we've talked a lot about that in terms of her audiobook career. Like, what's the sound of your voice sound like? Where do you fit in? What kind of qualities do you have? If you had to cast yourself, in commercial products, are you more Taco Bell or are you more Pain Med? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, they all sound differently. They all have a different brand. Each brand has their own style and tone. So I would really do some research on that. I do think getting into a class for commercial VO is great. When I was pursuing commercial VO, I did a lot of that in New York. I did book some stuff. I had a voiceover agent in New York. I had one in LA for a long time, and it just didn't click for me here. And I just didn't love it. And I think that's why. But I did book stuff in New York when I first started off. And I worked with John McKinney one-on-one. You can go to his website, John McKinney. He was a casting director with Donna DeSeta. No, not Donna DeSeta. I'm blanking. He was a casting director in New York. He still is, solely for voiceover. Used to write ad copy for agencies as well. He is so well versed in the whole commercial VO industry. And he was my go-to coach. And he's why I booked a lot when I was in New York. So I might get a coach, do some practice. And even if you just get with John 1 or 2 times, I would do that. and really get your technique down, get to understand how to break down commercial copy. It's different than TV film copy, and really get you to do that. Alana says, want to get back into audio narration at some point. Are there agents for audiobooks? I know you can do audiobook career on your own. You don't need an agent. It's too much work to have to pay a commission on top of that. You want an agent for commercial. You want an agent for commercial and animation and all the other stuff and video games, but not for audiobooks. And that's why I love audiobooks, is I do it on my own terms and my own time. So I work directly with authors. I work directly with publishers. I record on my own time in my booth, unless I'm going into a publishing house. But for the most part, I kind of do things on my own, just because my life is so crazy busy with everything else. But I bring in an extra 10 to 20,000 in audiobooks a year just by doing that on my own time. Now, granted, I'm at a place in my career, because I've been doing it for a long time, where I can charge a lot per finished hour for a book. So you won't be able to charge that much when you first start off, but you'll get there. But again, multiple income streams is what we started talking about at the beginning, right? I think it's really, really important to have those multiple income streams. Alana, let me know if you have any follow-up questions in there. Let me see if I missed anything. No, I think, all right, I got everything there on Instagram. And I think I did everything here on Facebook. And yeah, no questions have come through on the YouTube. Okay, great. Well, let me know what else. This has been a whirlwind of a live. What else? What other questions? And we got things coming in. What other questions can I answer for you? What's going on? I love this conversation today, though. Oh, hi, Marianne. I missed your comment. I love this conversation today so much about the risk. Again, it's like, what do I want to say? So much of what we get to do as artists is be really intentional. And with life, right? It's about being really intentional. Like, I get up at 6:30 every day, and I meditate, and I work out, and I stretch, and I wear my red light therapy mask because I don't want to do Botox. And that I'm intentional about that for my health. Like, I'm intentional about that for my mental health, right? That's why I meditate. And like with acting, we get to be intentional with what are you doing on a daily basis for your career. It is so easy just to go, I submitted myself on Actors Access today, done. Or, oh, I didn't hear from my agent today. I got no auditions. I guess there's nothing to do today. It's so easy to do that. But how can you be intentional on a daily, weekly, monthly basis? And that's one thing I talk about in my membership, the Actors Think Tank, is what to do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis for your career, because we constantly want to be moving forward. And, as like, I love the word hustle and I hate the word hustle, right? Like, hustle culture sounds draining, but there is a part of hustle that we get to do. So maybe hustle is not the right word for you. That's kind of why I like the word intentional. Like, how can you be intentional for what you want? Like, if you want to release limiting beliefs and excuses that pop up, you got to be super intentional on a daily basis, recognizing what's an excuse, what's a justification, where are you holding yourself back? Like, you get to be really intentional about that, or else you're just going to always fall prey to your excuses and stay in the same place. If you want to be at a different level in your career, you got to be really intentional about, ooh, that's too risky. Oh, I probably shouldn't do that. No, that's exactly when you should do that thing. And I don't want to should on anybody, but I'm going to say when you should do that thing. Like, being intentional about, when are you breaking the rules? When are you thinking outside your own box and taking risks and finding that freedom and finding that spontaneity? We get to be intentional about that. And that's where I think a lot of actors miss the mark, is they think, I got an agent, my work is done. And I can't tell you how many clients I have that work with me until they get an agent. Like in my mastermind group, I just had a client I worked with for 6 months, and we did her brand, revamped all of her tools, got some systems in place for her, worked on her mindset a lot, launched her agent campaign. She got so many offers. She ended up signing with an agent and a manager. And now she's like, great, I'm done. And I was like, oh, sweetie. And she was younger. And I didn't mean to be demeaning, but I was like, sweetie, this is where the work starts. This is where the work starts, because now you're going to be getting bigger auditions. How is your mindset going to be staying intentional through that, right? Because as we level up, We get triggered, things happen, right? And we need to stay the course. Now, when you have your agent, people think I got my agent, I'm done. Woohoo. No, now is the time where you put in the work. You got to build those relationships. You got to give your agent the right sales tools. You got to work together as a team, right? That's when the different work starts. So it's always thinking about how can I be intentional now in the place I'm in now in my business? Let me know if this is making sense to you guys. I got on a little soapbox, but I think it's true. All right. Tony, I must be going, but I love what you do. I'm grateful for meeting you at the Southwest Actors Conference. Yes, Tony, you too. I love it. Okay, hold on. Let me go here on Instagram. Meredith. Hi, Meredith. Are you familiar with the commercial class? Oh, who runs that? Is that Ross Lacey? Is that Ross Lacey's class? Can you let me know? I'm forgetting. Let me know who's doing that one, please, and then I will answer the question. Casey, very true. Risk is unavoidable. Got to embrace it in that sense. Yeah. Rupinder says true. Hi, Rupinder. Good to see you. Okay. Emmanuel, another question for you, Jody. Yes, Emmanuel. Always bringing in the major truth bombs. This is a good one. Should directors study the craft of acting in order to be more well-informed as a director when working with actors? I will say 2 of my favorite directing experiences in my life have been with directors who studied acting because they got it. I had one director come up to me and he just looked me in the eye. He whispered one word in my ear and walked away. And I was like, got it. Like I knew what to do. Because he knew not to overtalk it, give me a line reading, over explain it to me to get in my head. He knew he had to give me this one word to get me in my body. And it was awesome. And Jessica Reddish, another director, she was in my summit. She's directed me in a film. So brilliant. She knew how to push me to risk even more in my acting. It was great. And it was just the way she knew how to talk to me was just great. So I think there is some validity to that. I also think some directors intuitively understand how to talk to actors. Maybe they were an actor before, or just maybe they have a natural gift for that. So I don't want to just say, yes, every director needs to take an acting class. I think every director's in their own space, but I do think that ability to be able to talk to an actor so where they don't get in their head. That's the thing. Who's worked with directors before where they'll overtalk something or say something and you get in your head about it. And that's the worst because then it's tough to come back from that. Right. So yeah, I think there is some validity to that, Emmanuel, but I do think every director is different as well. For example, I just brought on board a director for my feature film, which we just changed the title, you guys. Oh, it's 11. We just changed the title. The working title has been I'm Okay. The new title, which is what we're now locked and going with, is until someone gives us money and tells us to change it, is What They Left Us. And I'm very excited about this new title. Anyway, we were talking about a particular scene with the director. And it was just one scene that the writing needed to shift. And it's the pivotal moment in the script. It's like the 11 o'clock number in a musical, right? It's where my character shifts to be able to have her full journey by the end. And writing, deepening. And then we brought the director in on that process. And just the way he talked to me about that. And he left me a voice memo about it. And he was like, here's what I'm thinking. And he was like, I don't know if this is too conceptual or something and whatever. And it was beautiful what he said. And then I left him a voice memo back and I said, you said exactly the right things. And it's like, now I trust you even more to direct me on set because you're not telling me it should be this way. It should be that way. Oh, that was wrong. You're like taking what I did and deepening it and reflecting it back to me. And that's what I think. Reflecting back to me of how to go even further, right? And I think that's what a good director can do. Yeah, that's a great question. Okay, We're at 11, but I feel like, well, we have the commercial class. Oh, Greenberry says, I believe the commercial class is Ross Lacey. Oh, yes. And yes. Just school to double check. Yes. Okay. So Meredith's asking about that. Meredith, I did take that class. I took it, unfortunately, I took it in 2018. And halfway through the class, my dad had passed away and I had to leave. And then I had all the stuff with my mom for the rest of the year, which ironically is what my script is about that I just mentioned. And I never did like a makeup class or anything, but when I was in the class, I really thought it was great. But I never got to do like the final class with Ross and stuff. But I've had a lot of people take that class and say it's one of that class and Killian McHugh. I think are probably the couple. I mean, Killian, he was wild in class. I'll say that he has this persona that you get to get past, but I think it works well for him and for the class. But his Ross Lacey, the commercial class, and Killian McHugh, I found were the two best commercial classes for me in Los Angeles. I know there's a lot, and I'm sure other people have opinions on that. But yes, thank you for looking that up, Greenberry. I love it. Okay. Yeah, it's from 200 South Casting. Yes, so that is Ross Lacey. Yep. Oh, Alana gave you the link. Look at you guys working together. Meredith says Jeff Gould is the instructor. Yeah, they bring on a lot of. They don't teach the class themselves. I think they only come in for the last class. But I think it's worth it. It's worth it. All right, team. What a lovely conversation. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, this is something I do on the first and third Fridays of every month. I think it's so important to create community, have a space to ask questions. I've been a career coach for actors since 2008. You guys, I have over almost like 2,400 clients now in 32 countries. 32 countries. I'm so like floored by that and honored that so many actors are pursuing this in so many different countries and trust in what I'm teaching and saying. It's just, I'm so grateful to build community. And I'll say again, I have packaged the summit that I did. It was so powerful. If you missed it or you only tuned in for free, we are having a sale on it now through Sunday at 9. I'll post the links here when I post all these videos for $27 to own all 27 hours of content. The amount of information in there, I had one person reach out to me and say it was an atomic bomb of information, that it was so much and so helpful. It's not just a motivational summit. It was actually action involved with it. And you get my playbook that I created with ChatGPT prompts and everything for your career. So anyway, I'll post the link to that. But thank you so much for tuning in, showing up for yourselves, and I will see you next time. All right, let me shut off here. I will say bye. Oh my God, I can't move anything. How do I even get off here? I'm going to end on YouTube. There we go. I'm going to end